I'll retarget a different type of character this time. So this is from idle to log. Doesn't matter which one. Open. Okay. So this is a different skeleton. If I select this and then select the hierarchy, and if I go to the channel box, um, what happens here is the radius is different on these joints. If I put 3, now it's going to be more like the other ones. This radius has nothing to do with the geometry at all. It's just for visuals. Okay. Now, if we look at the skeleton, it's got more joints. It also has end joints. So this joint here is for the left wrist or the left hand. And this is the uh, end left wrist or end left hand. We've also got this left toe, but then we've got left toe end, and also we've got head and head end. Now, the previous skeleton did not have these end joints. They're not necessary. They're kind of, I think, they're used probably more for just visualization than anything, but they're not necessary. So I'm just going to have to be a little more careful when I characterize this particular skeleton. Okay, so we're going to have to do the same thing. Let's go to frame 1. Let's select the hips. Select the hierarchy. Well, first let's select the hips and let's put the translate X at 0, translate Z at 0, and let's 0 out the rotations. Okay, so now we have this character standing on the floor. Now if we select the whole hierarchy, the rest of these values are, I just need to 0 out the rotations. So again, I just put the whole thing selected, click, drag on the rotations, type in 0, hit enter. So now the character is zeroed out. So this is how this particular skeleton was built. This is more of an A pose, what you'd call it. It's often easier to build a character and bind it at an A pose, but you still transfer data with a T pose. So with this T pose, I'm going to have to sort of do it manually. Yeah, if I were to go to a front view, this might be a little bit easier. Line things up. So that's just sort of a visual matchup. Pardon me. Take that translate Y might be a little bit, or maybe you need to translate it just a little bit more. Hit the feet on the ground. I think that's going to work. So let's select the hierarchy. And we're going to make another T-pose for this. Okay. So this was done at a professional shoot that I directed years ago. Uh, got permission to use the data. So I'm going to click on that. And so this time I'm just going to call it, so this is for platformer. So I'm just going to start it with TPOS, pose to shell. I can select it here, the whole hierarchy. Now I've got animation on all of this. What I can do is come in and sometimes with some of these skeletons, the selection is a little bit different. So if I deselect one, and then select it back, sometimes that'll show everything I want to see, sometimes not. But anyway, I'm going to click and drag with the left mouse button, right click, and I'm going to break connections. And you can see that deleted all the animation data. And so I'm going to save the skeleton out. Save scene as. All this platform skeleton. But you know what? I should put the human IK on it first. So let's create a new definition. Let's rename the current character to P-form or platform. And same thing, we're gonna select the hips, spine, neck. Now this character has two neck joints. And that's the head joint. It's not this top one like we did in the previous remapping. Okay, so I do have this warning. So it says the right arm doesn't seem to be parallel to the x-axis, but you know, it's close enough. So it's still going to work. If I completely straightened it out, it would work. If As long as it's not red, we're good. We're good to go. So I'm going to lock this and I'm going to save it. And save this as P form template. Now I don't want a prefix. Okay, I also need to save it. Actually, no, this will be just fine. So let's click OK. I'm going to select the whole hierarchy and save that again just to make sure. I did not need the prefix. Okay, so now I'm also going to save out. I'm going to call this keyform skeleton. So I'm saving this out with the control rig on it. So here I'm saving out the skeleton with the character definition. See you in the next video.